like, oh shit, what happened?
Oh man, we broke it. No, we broke it.
Oh my God. Welcome everybody. I know y'all been asking me to do a Jericho episode for a long time, and I thought this would be the perfect time to do a Jericho episode because we know Double or Nothing is coming up, and we know that this marks his 49th pay-per-view in his career. It's a long ass. That's a nice stat.
Sheesh.
Nice stat.
49th pay-per-view, just like overall, or like pay-per-view as like a main event type situation?
Pay-per-view overall.
49th?
I feel like you should have more than that.
Yeah.
Well, pay-per-view. Gotta remember, like the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not pay-per.
Well, he was in a company where they had 12 a year.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I googled. That's what it said. It said
I saw that too. I was like, "Are they sure about that?"
I know. I'm pretty sure he was more than that, but it said 49.
He's gonna say 512 today.
Shut up,
break the pause down. Hey, Drip, break the pods down. I was about to say something else. I thought they said break the pads down.
Whoa.
Ew.
Let the singer.
Before the chat gets in here, because the chat is not popping yet, everybody's like, I guess Raw got their attention. Or the game. Is everyone ready? Yes. J-A-E. Jade Edge.
The Jay Moran episode.
Jay Moran.
Parade inside this podcast, yeah.
Yeah, this is a Jericho top 10 Jericho moments, not matches. This is moments, okay? I'm gonna do matches, but this is moments. So we're giving our flowers, especially me. We're giving our flowers to the one and only Jared Goat. A little bit of the bubbly. Little bit of the bubbly. All right. Before we get started, I do have some honorary mentions that wasn't on my countdown. So I'm going to get the honorary mentions out the way. And then we'll get started with the countdown, okay? Because it's so many moments that he had. And I could have did 15, but I didn't want to do too long. I didn't want to be too long. So little fun moments that we remember. It's no order in this. It's just honorary. You always have to remember the Jericho and Rock segments in WWE. Like, they had great segments. It was chemistry. Them two always gave chemistry, and it was always comedy. Like, authentic-ass comedy. And it was funny. They hit every single time they was together. Whether they was rivals or if they had to get along for when the whole alliance thing. What is one of your Rock and Chris Jericho moments?
Oh man. Hey, when they was both out there just ripping up Stephanie McMahon.
Oh my God.
Just taking turns. It was like, oh well, last time I checked Rock, it was I was like, it was just like, oh, Stephanie McMahon, if you don't get your ass up out of here. Like, she looked like a like, oh man, those are my favorite moments.
You better shut up. That's when they did Booker T together. They framed the fuck out of his ass. It was just crazy. Like, and then the ones that they had against each other, like, it was reposted in the question of Public Enemy's eggs will show Jericho and Rock moments. And then one of the followers posted that video of when he put his hand in his face. And then he moved that shit to the side too. And they looked like they want to break character so bad. So that was the Rock and Jericho always had great moments. Another honorary mention. I want to recognize that Jericho did add the prestige in the Intercontinental Championship. He brought that back. That it was a 2-year dark period for the IC championship. And then when Jericho came in the picture, he made it back important again. He was the fighting champion. He was a workhorse in the Attitude Era. So that is another honorable mention that y'all need to remember. And he also did it again around 2008, the Rey Mysterio feud. So he did it again for the second time. So when you think of the IC title, I know y'all like to bring up that lame dude Miz, but it's Jericho, okay? Let's not forget. I know that he's surpassed the record or whatever is cute, but Gunther is bringing that back, as you can see. So,
the greatest Intercontinental champion ever.
Yes.
Put China. Listen, him and China had a feud for the Intercontinental title. That was one of the first of its kind too.
And still made it look important, even when it was a female opponent. So it was still deemed important because then they added Hardcore Holly in the mix. Like, it was your
Sparky plug, man. Get the
it was still important. So
shout out to Crash, RIP.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Jericho bringing back Lionheart for the fans in AEW. Honorable mention. We love seeing Lionheart. We know he goes hard when it's Lionheart, his Lionheart persona, because it's more technical, it's more fast-paced, but of course he's a little older, so it's not as fast-paced as his younger self, but he still can keep up when he's Lionheart. So, honorable mention from the Lionheart era.
Corazon de Leon.
Yeah. You also have to remember in 2018, Jericho broke the internet when he did the New Japan situation. So, we're still seeing that trend towards Mercedes like this weekend and things like that. So, Jericho kind of started that, if we're being technically correct. So, give him his flowers for that as well. So he was very influenced with doing that, betting amongst yourself and believing in yourself that you can, keep it moving in another brand. So,
shout out to that Alpha Club shirt too, man. That was kind
of cool. Also, give Jericho your flowers. Y'all love Money in the Bank. That is the mastermind of the Money in the Bank. If it wasn't for Jericho with that concept, that creative idea for Money in the Bank, we would not have Money in the Bank. The purpose, Jericho loves wrestling, so the purpose is beautiful. It's supposed to be for the next up and coming person, but they kind of lost touch with the meaning of Money in the Bank. I mean, it's cool to see formal champions win it or whatever, but that's not what it was about. So give him his flowers for Money in the Bank. It's a pay-per-view. A Jericho pay-per-view. That's a flex.
It's a fucking pay-per-view.
That's a flex. That is a flex.
He made a staple of the WWE landscape now.
Exactly.
People look forward to that like they look forward to fucking Royal Rumble.
And Trips hate it.
I could have thought of that idea, but I couldn't because I was too busy with the titles I didn't deserve.
There you go. Also, give Jericho his flowers. He was one of the wrestlers that stood up for the Divas era. When we had Melina at the time, it was Melina, all of them. Alicia Fox, the Divas, the early Divas era. And, he was one of the ones like say, give them more time. They stepping up. These women can actually wrestle.
Back when they weren't doing it like that either.
He stood up for them backstage, so give him his flowers for that. They clown him for doing that, but he didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So if these women can wrestle, let them wrestle. Fuck all this bra and panty shit. Let them wrestle. So kudos for that. If y'all don't know that, it's been mentioned so many times from the past Divas alumni in WWE. They talk about it all the time. So shout out to Jericho at that time, standing up for the women in the locker room. Also, he is the reinvention god. Like, he knows how to reinvent himself. And it's not just in one brand. It's been in multiple brands that he knows how to reinvent himself to stay relevant. That is a hard thing to do. especially 33 years in wrestling. That is that is one of the hardest things that you can do is reinvent yourself in actual wrestling because, old shit die out. It always we don't want to see this old person, even though we still got some of those, but he knows how to reinvent himself to stay relevant within the wrestling fans each generation. Attitude, ECW, WCW, WWE, WWF, New Japan, AEW. So he knows how to reinvent himself to stay relevant. That's a flex nobody can do. Some people can only do 2 things. Some people can only do 3. This man done did multiple or had his sayings reinvent him too. So it's a lot. Like people singing Judas for 3 years. Like,
shit, I think that's platinum now, ain't it? It should be platinum by now.
There's platinum.
It's like what you said though. Like, do you know how hard it is to stay entertaining and relevant for 33 years across multiple companies? Like 33 years, I'm 35. You know what I'm saying? About to be 35. Like he's been relevant since he basically started.
Mm-hmm.
That's
hard.
That's hard as hell.
Hard. And last but not least, the honorary mention because it was tough, but I couldn't put them all in the countdown. But you got to give it up to all the lists that he has did in WCW, WWE, and AEW. He had the lexicon of Le Champion. You just made the list, and then he had the list for Goldberg. So,
hold 1, arm drag. Hold 2, arm bar.
Shout out to all the list. So, honorary mentions, Jericho. If that's the honorary mentions, just imagine my list, okay? Now we're gonna get to the list now. I got a good crowd. Y'all ready for the list? Turn up. Play a little turn up for to get prepared. Play a little turn up.
Play that Lionheart Chris Jericho WCW theme. Do. Somebody do push-ups to that shit. It's like,
come on, Graham, play me something.
The spinning moss covered 2-hand credunzel.
Drop down, we can be.
I got some music for you. I love the singer about the moon in the June in the springer. I love the singer.
What the? If we drop down, we can be. I guess we ain't no music.
What Casey did? Time is slipping away from me. Yeah.
Rip it on any beat. That's an adaptation. I'm running out of breath. I'm bringing it back in. Need my money up front. Don't deal with a back end. Your pockets on a diet, nigga. I'm calling you Atkins.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
Rip it on any beat. That's an adaptation. I'm running out of breath. I'm bringing it back in. Need my money up front. Don't deal with a back end. Your pockets on a diet, nigga.
Shout out to Safari, bro. Rip it on any beat. That's an adaptation. Oh. Hey, that's a bar kind of. That kind of was a bar a little bit.
Yeah, man. Who would have thought of that?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That was cute. All right, y'all. We gonna get to the countdown this time, y'all. I ain't gonna. This is so much fun. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is my top 10 moments. These are moments, not matches. I'm gonna say it again. Moments, not matches. I'm gonna do matches, but I'm doing moments today. Okay, so this is the top 10 Jericho moments. Is in any program. It's not just one. It's just throughout his career that I feel like was very monumental to his wrestling career and the homage and the impact that he has made since he's been in the wrestling ring. Jericho is impactful, and I'm going to tell you the top 10 reasons why he is. So hold on, let me get my notes out. According to my research,
Mad official, yo.
Right. Number 10, Chris Jericho One Night Only Championship. It happened on Raw, April 17th of 2000. If you do not remember, Triple H called out Chris Jericho. You know, he wanted to fight in his honor of his wife because, you know, Jericho went to roasting Stephanie, and Triple H didn't like that too much. So a match was called or whatever. And then in that match, of course, you know, Chris Jericho delivered. He carried on his back per usual. During the match, the ref was out. Then the ref, Earl Hebner, comes in to cover for the injured ref. Now, Earl Hebner and Trips they don't like each other. So Trips like, damn, what the fuck? Why he got a ref here? And Earl Hebner's, I'm here. I ain't trying to hear none of that. So, you know, they get the wrestling or whatever. Trips pushed Earl Hebner. So Earl Hebner pushed his ass back. And then because of that, he got distracted. Jericho kicked him, and then Jericho ended up doing the moonsault. Earl Hebner 1, 2, 3. And that was the end of the match.
Jericho scores with the moonsault. No! We got a new champion! No way! My God!
Look at his face. Look at my son's face. He was like,
The pop went crazy. It was crazy. Arena went crazy. And he was only champion for like 15 minutes. Was it 15?
it didn't
was like
feel
15.
like it. he had got to the back, and as soon as he was about to sit down, he was like, damn.
As soon as he was about to sit down, they said, no. And he got jumped and a whole bunch of other shit. But yes, that it showed, you know, even though, like, yes, Trips was a heel at the time and people hated him, but Jericho was loved at this time. So seeing that, it was crazy because it actually reacted to fans was getting very upset. The crowd was upset about Jericho having to relinquish that title back to him. So that showed right there that Jericho, you know, that kind of worked like this, like, okay, he has fans. Okay. He has fans. Interesting. So we had that. So we're gonna jump to that was my number 10. So my number 9 is Chris Jericho challenges Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12 when he dropped the promo. Yeah, it was crazy. He dropped the promo. Broke the internet. Twitter went crazy when this happened. It had people going crazy. Jericho was trending. People was like, what the fuck is trending? He trended for. Then they seen that. And he challenged Kenny Omega. That was, you know, around that time, Kenny Omega was calling himself the best in the world. And Jericho was like, you're not the best in the world. I'm the best of the world. And ripped his shit and challenged him to Wrestle Kingdom. So that was definitely number 9. And I also want to point out, without this would not give Tony Khan the idea to go forward. Mm-hmm. This inspired Tony Khan. He saw this, and then the reaction with Jericho, this began everything. So this match is important because it starts everything. What we see right now. So you had to be there to see that. That is important, and that's why it's number 9, because it's literally like a butterfly effect. Without that, it affects everything. So without Chris Jericho going over, after, you know, not re-signing with WWE and going to Japan, this shit that we have right now wouldn't exist. We'll still probably be in the monopoly. Okay? Yeah. So that moment is important. Number 8. And this is everybody's favorite, one of my favorite. We talked about it earlier. It was part of my honorable mentions. But number 8, Chris Jericho calls out Goldberg, WCW Thunder, 1998.
So Greenberg, come out here and let me give you what all these Jerichoholics want me to give you, and that's a first class.
This is one of those moments. If you didn't understand it then, you will understand it later. Chris Jericho calls out Goldberg. At first, people just like, he bullshitting. He kept doing it. And then it gets to a point where it's like, why don't our champion fight him?
Yeah, you looking real scared right now, Goldberg.
And then the promos intensify because he's just like, all he knows how to do is 4 moves. And then the crowd's just like,
Kind of got a point.
He does. Then he started calling him Greenberg.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
And the crowd's just like,
What?
that is green. Hey, mama. Mom's in the chat. Then he started calling him Greenberg. And he's just like, he does 3 moves. He only faces jobbers.
Yes.
And he's right. The crowd gets behind Jericho. That pisses Eric Bischoff off, Goldberg off. Like, that pissed people off. Like, why are y'all letting this guy talk about me like that? Stuff like that. I know y'all talk about CM Punk being the first and stuff like that.
You know how hard it is to press that issue against it's probably the hottest wrestler in the world at that time. He pressed the issue. He made people want to see that match. If it wasn't for Goldberg being a biatch, you know what I'm saying, he probably would have got it. You know what I mean? That'd have made a ton of money. He was like, why would I want to fight this dude on a random ass Nitro? You say, well, I'd have built up this thing to what people would have seen me lose now. Like, hey, bro, we need to put this on pay-per-view. But nah,
I'm not losing to this guy. This man can wrestle. You can only do 3 moves.
Yeah, man, you can't even run in a straight line. And my son he had his own little security and shit he used to walk around with. Like, man.
So people really just started paying attention because remember WCW and WWE, it was totally different. So the fans, WCW fans, was different than the WWE fans. You know, so they started to kind of pick up on it, like, our champion only fights certain people. He don't last that long in the ring, and he only does certain moves. Jericho is in our cruiserweight division.
He had won every belt by then. Like, he had won every belt except that one. Like,
he played the long game. It was a mental game. Like, I'm going to fuck with you. You ain't going to have no choice but to wrestle me, but I'm going to fuck with you. And he mind fucked him. And Goldberg always been insecure about his wrestling skills, so that fuck with him.
Yeah, he's always been a goof too, so he always got to him too. Like, you start kissing his own ass.
So y'all praise CM Punk and stuff. That's cool. The daddy.
He did it first.
Can I add to that?
What? Go ahead.
If I could add to that, you know this whole second coming rumor about CM Punk and the tagline for Collision. You know Jericho did that first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Save Us return, you know, and our intro today, the second coming was a part of the codes that you needed to crack.
When he came back in 2008.
I'll just throw that out there.
Oh, look at see, man, my man knows it.
Yeah, that's why wrestling history is important. Nothing is new under the sun. Okay, nothing is new under the sun. It's been done before. So To keep going, speaking of that, because Graham brought it up, number 7, it is the Save Us Y2J. Chris Jericho returns to Raw in 2007. That 2007 for WWE was rough. It was real rough going into that summer. Injuries was happening, and they was starting to rely on their younger talent at the time, Randy Orton. Randy Orton was champion. He was hitting, but he wasn't hitting at the same time, if that makes sense, at the time. Around this time, Jericho was like, I was kind of he wasn't happy at the time with WWE, so he, just toured out with Fozzy and, just touring out and stuff like that. Get a phone call. We got this and this and this. Okay. I'll be on the plane tomorrow.
That Save Us shit meant something because they really needed him to save us.
Like,
save us, Chris, please. Because
Vince and Jericho never had a bad relationship. Let's understand, like they always had a decent relationship. He liked Jericho. He did like him. So, he called him, hey, can you help us? Because what do you want? Like, how much? Okay? How much? This. Okay.
Hey, you say you want a sparkly jacket? All right, hold on. Hey, yo, Hunter, write down sparkly jacket. Yes, Dad. The sparkly jacket. Okay. Save Us. We're going to have Save Us in there. Yeah, put Save Us in my promo. Okay.
Yeah, so he been hitting that code. It was like was it a month? They was doing it for a whole month. That code, break the code, crack the code. It was like a whole month to crack the code. And I kind of figured, being a Jericho fan, I was like, this got to be Jericho. This got to be Jericho. It got to be him.
Like, it better be.
Right. And then when we see him, hey, Marty, and then when we seen him run, and he hit the dude and his hair was all cut. Now, I didn't like that. I did not like the haircut. I was like, what the hell? It just don't hit the same. I was so upset. Like, he cut the hair.
That was that. Let me speak to your manager.
Oh, that Karen.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Like that's the everybody haircut right there.
That was that Backstreet Boys haircut.
The Backstreet Boys haircut.
The Backstreat Boys haircut. Nah, all the white men at that time was having that haircut.
They for sure
was it Justin Timberlake or something? Nah, that looked like a Tom Cruise haircut.
They all had the little frosted tips.
Yeah, they look like a Tom Cruise haircut.
Neil Patrick Harris, yes. Drip is the man.
He is
awesome.
All the white men had that haircut. It was called
it's called the Jericho.
It was called something. It was treated like all of them had that. But yeah, he came back with that, and then the feud happened throughout the summer, and then we all big nose come back when know how to go. So, but Save Us Y2J was monumental at the time. He saved the summer, so that's important. Okay, he saved the summer for WWE for SummerSlam. So. Number 6. Okay, we're number 6. Now, this is a funny one, and I love this one because it's probably the funniest reign in AEW. But number 6 was a little bit of the bubbly segment that he did backstage right after he won the AEW championship. He was backstage talking shit, roasting everybody. And then that's when he did the catch a little bit of the bubbly. And he ended up selling the champagne the next day, and it sold 12,000 in one day. So that is a flex. Can your favorite wrestler sell champagne? Mine can.
I did the math on that. At $25 a bottle, plus tax and shipping, that's roughly like $300,000 in a day. Let's run it up.
Yo, man, pay me. Give me all the money.
A little bit of the bubbler.
Hey, he was really just walking backstage like on the Jimmy Butler shit, just like, huh, what are you looking at? Huh? You idiot. Stop looking at me.
He said, what is your name? And he said, what is that? You work here? Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'm champion.
I'm your champion now.
Yeah, Bugs.
Idiot.
I'm the champion.
Piece of shit. He's gonna call everybody a piece of shit.
Yeah, piece of shit. Scorpio style, you could never get one of these.
You was right. He was close.
And speaking of his run, I want to say, like, during the little champion AEW run, one of the promos that I liked, that he did that whole, all his life he knew that he would grow up to be the AEW champion. And he was just like, I just hate that I have to beat Cody's ass because I'm going to beat Cody's ass. Oh my God, because he can't wrestle. Like he was just like, Cody can't, when he did the list of the champion, I don't want to fight Moxley. I don't want to fight Adam Page, Diamond Dallas Page, any of them pages. Uno, dos, tres, Cody Rhodes, because he can't.
Scorpio Sky, Nina Sky.
You know? So, yes, number 6, a little bit of the bubbly. That's the flex. 12,000 in a day and a little bit of the bubbly. And that started the little champion he was saying. And he was the demo god at that time because, you know, he had the highest demos in 2019. He's the household name. I mean, he's the reason why they got the TNT deal. So, flex. Okay?
John Wall flex.
Y'all want to play? All right, number 5. Number 5. I love this segment. Number 5 is the on February 12th, 2012, during the Elimination Chamber, the segments. Y'all remember the debate. That is when he flamed Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, CM Punk, and R-Truth. They was part of the Elimination Chamber, and he got up there and he had to remind all they asked who the fuck he was.
And that brings me to you, Punk. Look at me when I'm talking to you, boy.
Play it one more time. Play it one more time for Punk fans. Play it one more time. One more time. Run it back.
And that brings me to you, Punk. Look at me when I'm talking to you, boy.
He gonna talk. How you gonna let somebody talk to you like that? And his jacket is still on. He ain't even turned his jacket off yet. Like his jacket is just glistening at you and lighting up. And he tells you to look at him because you know you're already looking at his jacket.
He said, "Look how you talking to you, boy."
Yeah, Philip, look over here.
That whole y'all have to watch that entire part. Like what he said was facts. He had to let y'all know who the fuck he was. Like what he say? All of y'all are right here. I am up here.
And R-Truth out on a little Jimmy shirt. So shout out to the R-Truth little Jimmy shirt.
Run it one more time, Graham. One more time for the Punk fans.
And that brings me to you, Punk. Look at me when I'm talking to you, boy.
He was like,
he meant that shit. Don't turn your head when you see me talking to you.
for real. You know who I am?
You know who I am? Yes,
Look
so
at my
that's
jacket.
number 5. Yes, with the jacket. You see the jacket was shining. It was just
It's Christmas every day.
Christmas every day. That's number 5. Now, number 4. Now, this was disrespectful. Now, this was to y'all GOAT, okay? Y'all GOAT. This happened to y'all GOAT. And I was like, okay. Number 4, Chris Jericho throws Shawn Michaels to his Giantron on Raw. Do you have a picture of the footage, Graham?
You think I'm going to get that footage? You think I'm actually going to get that footage of my GOAT? No.
You got to steal
Okay.
Picture?
Graham don't want to
showing them that video. It hurts my heart.
Graham don't want to get it, so I'm going to explain what happened. Jericho spoke facts on the promo. Let's get this understood. This is basically him saying it's cool when you do it, but it's a problem when I do it. Fuck you. Bam, hit you in the Gyotron. That's basically what it was. Like, you can do all of this, but if I do it, it's a problem. Now it's a problem. That's basically what happened. And he threw his ass in the Geraldtron. And then to take it even further in that feud, and he punched his wife and stuff like that. Jericho wasn't playing with y'all. He wasn't playing with Shawn Michaels. Ain't been right since.
He said, this is an extremely ridiculously expensive Geratron 2000 right here. You know what I'm saying? He just took that boy and
ruined. I don't care. Yeah. I'm just a sexy boy. Ain't been right since. Yeah.
Boy, damage to Sean's eye. That's evil. See, it was his fault.
I'm just a sexy boy. Yeah, cry. Tears. Tears, cry. Oh, y'all. Yeah, that's right, Shawn Michaels fans. Yeah, I brought that pain back. Remember? Yeah. He ain't been right since. He wasn't right since. That fucked him up. It fucked him up. My girl fucked him up.
Punch her in the mouth, too, dog. Like, her lip
punch his ass in the mouth. Swole his shit up. Don't lie to me. What he said, he said, how does it feel being a liar? You faked your injury. Like, he came at the bat swinging. You faked your injury. You lied to the people. He just came out the house swinging.
And then he hit him in the head with the mic, too. That's always my favorite move. When somebody just hits somebody in the head with a mic. He just picked him up and threw him through that shit. It was like the worst is yet to come. And he was right.
Threw his ass. Shawn Michaels was fucked up after that. Broken bones and shit. Glue and tape.
Yeah, man. He had a patch on his eye like Hangman.
Like, all right, Jericho, I can't wrestle you no more. Why? Why not? Why not? What's wrong? What's the problem?
I'm like the Undertaker, man.
Right.
Man, my eye hurt, blood.
I was like Undertaker. Hell no. My back hurts walking around like this and stuff now. With his chest out. I'm going to the Undertaker. Give him CM Punk or something. Give him one of them young ones.
Tell him to go fight Mickey Rourke. I don't deal with this no more, man. Like he punched my wife, my eye hurt.
They made him. Oh yeah, they did make him do that shit. Mickey Rourke. They punished my man's. It's all right. Fuck it, we ball. It's all right. He made something out of that. So hey. Okay, so number three. I know y'all don't care for it, but it happened. Y'all saw it happen last year, but Jericho became the Ocho. He wins his 8th world championship that adds to his 35th overall championship title reign in his collection. That is a fucking flex, okay? 8 world championships, not 8 in one company. This is 8 in overall company. He's been champion in WWE. He has been a WCW champion because it was over there. He was ROH champion. He's AEW champion. He won the fucking CMLL. Well, it ain't gonna call it as a champion, but he won the top CMLL trophy, but that was in the 90s. But it still counts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, and he was undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? Just collecting the champion. He was heavyweight champion.
Yeah, you won a New Japan joint too, right? The Intercontinental joint?
Yep.
Damn, man. That's crazy. Everywhere I've been, I got a title.
Years, 35. He's had 35. Imagine if he beat Okada in 2019. That would have been crazy.
Every place I went to, I won a title. I'm like LeBron. Like just like place I went to, I won a title.
He won a title, so that is a flex. The Ocho is a flex. So yeah,
Lexicon James.
Lexicon James.
Jericho James. Okay, number 2. We was all there. And it was some bullshit that they put this at number 10. Raw is Jericho. Jericho's debut in WWE, WWF is a fucking moment and top 5 debuts of all time. Top 3, and it's not 2. He came in and interrupted The Rock, Prime Rock. This is Prime Rock. And got a pop while Prime Rock is in the ring. So that says something right there. Like, yes, they didn't have social media, but we know it was rumors circulating. You know, if you had the connects to AOL at the time and stuff like that, y'all probably saw it. All you old folks, y'all probably saw it. Or whatever, y'all was probably teenagers at the time, so y'all probably know what I'm talking about. But some of us that were little younglings, you know, me, because I stopped watching WCW when he left. So when I stopped seeing him on TV on WCW, I stopped watching WCW. So I heavily watched WWE because of Jericho, because everywhere he go, I go. So yes, he was the ponytail, like the ponytail, hair down, boy band, the boy band shit. He came in, it was teased for a month too as well. The countdown, it was teased. No, it started right when New Year's Eve.
Like 6 months ahead of time.
It was like 4-5 months. I mean, I remember watching that. And it popped up like, countdown to the millennium during the Y2K era.
Yeah. And it was like people was saying that the world was going to end. So that shit was kind of scary. Like, why the fuck is this countdown happening?
That was the first time I saw like somebody that the company that they were working in like didn't necessarily see them as a big star and didn't prop them up as such. And then they come over here and it's like a complete 180. Like that was the first time that I saw that in like real time. Like, cause I remember watching Jericho in WCW and he was cool, but I didn't know that niggas was rocking with him like the way when he popped up here. I was like, oh, he's that nigga now.
Don't it remind you of Cody Rhodes?
No, it was bigger than that. I remember when that shit when it went to 0 and then everything went black and then the
Jericho hit the Jumbotron. It was and all you heard was a loud ass. And I love when he talks about it because he was just like he was not expecting that shit. Like he was not expecting people to react like that. And I hate that he hates his theme song, man. I'm like, how do you not like that? That shit is like the dopest theme song.
Nah, I didn't make it. I'm with him on that. I didn't make it. That's trash.
How you not like Break the Walls Down? That shit was like the lady, like the stripper lady hit the arms up and then his name come out. That shit is so fire. Like it was fire and he just came in and he said, "Welcome to Raw is Jericho," and the shit just went crazy. Like started like the that's why they had to add that to 30 years of Raw because Raw is Jericho is important. Like it is part of the Attitude Era. Like, you know, you see the segments, the Miz talking and Seth Rollins do his shit. That shit did not exist until Jericho. Like Jericho did that shit.
Reinvented himself. He took what he did in WCW and then made it better.
Mm-hmm.
He was called a WCW Monday Jericho over there.
Yeah, so this shit it was the beginning of something good. Like they needed a great mid-card. Like they needed somebody that was going to make the mid-card relevant. And Jericho being brought, like JR told it, get this man right here. This man, thank you, Jim Ross, for telling this man that this man over here, get him. I'm telling you, get this man over here. Get Jericho. Like, you got to get Jericho.
And they wasn't really banking with nobody like that from WCW. Like, they wasn't really signing nobody from over there. Like,
right. So that was a major move. Like, and to hit, look, I could take your mid-carder and make something out of it. And Lord of Behold, we have Jericho. And it had something to do with Vince, but it had a lot to do with Chris Jericho creative-wise, because Chris Jericho is creative with himself. Like, most of his things are his ideas. He adds on, like, if one of the creators be like, hey, you're going to do this, and he's like, if I put this in, would you, like, if I change that and stuff like that? Like, when he talked about, I know people like the match, WrestleMania match with him and Shawn Michaels, and he talked about recently that they came up with that, the start of it took them 15 minutes. He said Shawn Michaels came up with the first half, and he came up with the last half, and they was done.
That was the best story ever.
Ever. Like, I was just
he was like,
bro.
yeah, what do you got? He was like, I think I got the beginning. He was like, I think I got the end. And he was like, all right, well, shit, we're done. See you Sunday.
They take one take, and Shawn Michaels talk about it too. He's like, working with it's like all he needs to show him one time or just tell him, and he'll do it. Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
And that was Shawn's first WrestleMania back too. And like, who did he trust with his first WrestleMania match back? You know what I mean? Somebody that was gonna take care of him, like make sure.
And they never encountered each other, never, and it flows so smoothly. They trusted each other. They read each other. Jericho's a good in-ring leader. Shawn Michaels was paying attention to him in the '90s, but even though he was like, he ain't gonna be no star, but he paid attention to his wrestling skill. Like, oh, this dude's good. Like, he working with something.
I want to be just like you.
Right, Jericho at the time, like, I kind of want to be like Shawn. And then he realized, I might be a little, there's something about me that can be. When Jericho got to the point where he wanted to be him, like focus on him, then that's the reinvention shit. I could do something that y'all can't do. Y'all don't know how to reinvent yourselves. I do.
And I got a ponytail in my beard. You know what I'm saying? What you know about that?
Right.
Yeah, the ponytail beard and the regular ponytail.
Regular ponytail beard. All right, so number one. Number one is my favorite moment, Jericho moment of all fucking time. I looked back at it today at work, and I was just like, bro, this man wrestled for 20 minutes twice in a night against two of the baby faces at the time. Jericho beats The Rock and Stone Cold same night is a moment, y'all. Like, he worked his ass off. Now, backstory, we know that he was going to be transitional. When they pitched the idea, if I recall correctly, JR talked about it. It was a joke. It was supposed to be one of those, see if he could be the guy, jokingly. Like, let him be the guy so I can easily beat him when I come back for WrestleMania.
Quad man.
Yeah, quad man. But Jericho is so good at what he does. Like, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to show you that, I'm going to make something of it. And he did. He made something out of it. He became, he made sure the ratings stayed where it was. He made sure to stay in character. He made sure to, represent the company, even though he was a heel at the time. And then adding Stephanie as part of his manager was a genius move too, because she was on some evil bitch shit and he was on some evil asshole shit. So you have two people that hate each other become rivals of each other was genius. And they did a great job, and he was one of the best. They cannot take that from him, transitional or not. He made the undisputed champion important until it became unimportant when they started being on that bullshit. Like, how they do. They just started being on that bullshit with it, and then it didn't matter anymore. And they end up splitting it, and they end up cutting it and then making it into something else. It was crazy. But the first, everybody always remember the first undisputed champion. Y'all, and we don't care about the second because we forgot. But we remember the first. Beating The Rock and Stone Cold at the same time, at that time, was something. Like, that was something to see. And he wrestled them both, carried them both in 2 nights because it was 20 minutes for both. He carried both of them. No disrespect to either one of them. But if you're an in-ring person like I am and you just go back and watch it, he carried the fuck out of both of them. Made sure they look well because they both was exhausted. And this man had the match. So think about that because, you know, we appreciate Moxley, the Orange Cat, people just being the dependable guy. Jericho was the dependable guy. Attitude, Ruthless Aggression era, Jericho was the dependable guy. And at that time, he was very dependable and he did his job. That's why he was added to the team for the whole alliance versus WCW, you know, the WWE versus the alliance shit. That's why he was added to that. Even though old dude was injured, but it fits Jericho being there. It fits perfectly because him and Rock's dynamic, you know, they had the whole issue, made it comical and things like that. So it still worked. He made it work. So anything that you give to him, he was able to make it work. And him being a transitional undisputed champion, he made that shit work. He made that what it was. We always remember the first undisputed champion. Regardless how you feel about him, with how he views with politics and shit like that bullshit like that, who cares? But his wrestling career is flawless.
And if you want to keep it real, like is he really a transitional undisputed? Because he was technically the longest undisputed champion they had.
Yeah.
Because he won it in December, defended it at Royal Rumble, defended it at No Way Out, lost to Triple H, and then Triple H lost to Walter Brother a month later. And then Walter Brother lost to fucking Taker, and then Taker lost it to fucking Brock Lesnar. And then by that time, we had another title back again.
Yeah.
So he ain't really, and he's the only one that had the 2 belts. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that shit. Like, no, I want 2 belts. I'm saying, listen, no, I want 2 of these motherfuckers.
And was holding that bitch like that's when he had the dope ass "I'm the king of my world" shit. That shit was so, like, he had a whole theme song for that shit.
He just spin around in circles and shit.
Yeah, like he had he used to come out kissing that shit every day. Like every Monday he'd come out kissing that shit.
He go to the fans like this, hey, you want to touch it? Ooh, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. Psych. You got no ice cream. You can't touch it.
Paramedics? Huh? Where were you when I was bleeding to death? Standing around like a bunch of morons.
Oh, man.
I remember not believing that actually happened. Yes, all you babies, y'all need to go back. And yes, he now if you watch WrestleMania 18 was pretty good, but the main event, Jericho did his best. He did the best that he could, considering who he was wrestling. Mr. Mess Up main events. That's a real story. That's nobody don't want to talk about Triple H fucking up main events. I don't know why people scared to talk about it, but that man done fucked up so many WrestleMania main events. It's ridiculous. Fucked it up. That was the only moment it'd be like, okay, that makes sense. WrestleMania 18, but he beat him. That's the only one that makes sense because he came in real high. We saw Madison Square Garden. You know, he had the loudest reaction coming back, the return. So that shit did make sense, but he went back as a heel and went back in his ways. So that shit. And then they had him, yeah. You know, that shit, like he said, it was a short ass reign. It didn't mean nothing. You know, what was the point of y'all gonna do that if, you know, it was just one of those things. So, yeah. So that was very important. Like, y'all have Roman Reigns, and he has a good reign. His reign is, you know what I'm saying? But walking around with 2 belts like that, Jericho.
Your faith could never.
Jericho. Everything always results back into Jericho. It always goes back to Jericho. Jericho is the butterfly effect. Everything goes back. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, some of these people remind me of younger him. So if you go back and watch Jericho stuff, it all goes back. Like the whole, I know how to wrestle strong style, lucha style. I know how to do fast style. I know how to do American style. Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho. Watch some of his ECW, especially with him and Too Cold Scorpio. Like, I saw one moment somebody put in the comments where he did the promo where he was naming people that he done beat all through his wrestling career. What did he say? Undertaker twice. I beat Shawn Michaels, Hooted, Eddie, Ray. Like, he was just naming folks. Great Muta. He went outside WWE. Like, he was just naming shit, naming people. So all my top 10, if you like on some goofy shit, it was in the honorable mentions, but the 10 are all modern day. Like, all of it reflects modern day. That's why it's important moments, because without each of these moments, it does take away a lot. A lot of butterfly effects happen. That's why I said, like, him doing the New Japan promo. Without that, we would not have this shit right now. Like the AEW, the WWE shit. Like that shit, without that shit, none of this shit would be possible. Like without him even considering AEW, the TNT deal wouldn't have been possible. Like everything goes back to Jericho. Everything. It goes back to Jericho. Y'all want to talk about CM Punk and all of that other stuff? Jericho versus Goldberg. Just look at the promos. Even though it was funny, it was humor, but it was true to it too. Calling him Greenbird, Goldberg is green. He said Goldberg could only do 4 moves.
And he ran scared.
Goldberg can't wrestle more than 10 minutes in a match.
Yeah, you got Regal fired for that. Bastard.
I mean, it was true to it. And he had guts to do that. Somebody from mid-carder coming out, a top player like that, who do you think you are? Yeah.
Somebody that can wrestle.
Yeah.
That's what the guy is.
I can wrestle and I can fight. I can wrestle and fight. If you want to fight, we can fight. And we can wrestle, we can wrestle.
Jericho 4, Greenberg 0.
Shawn Michaels, you a liar. You lied about your injury. You're nothing but a liar. You lied about the injury. Tell the people why you lied about the injury. You faked it. Through his ass.
Keep that under wraps.
Well, Jericho, it's called gamesmanship. No, it's called lying, motherfucker.
But you lied. Why did you lie? No, you know what? I'm going to throw your ass in the Giantron. I don't want to wrestle him no more. I'm retiring.
Man. Just sitting in the office, just like, you go to a meeting and you just sitting there after you just got thrown through the ridiculously expensive Geritron 2000 and you just sit there holding your eye. Your girl sitting there with a fat lip because you wanted to move out the way. Instead of take the punch, you just moved.
No, I like when Jericho talk about the when he was fighting Shane McMahon and he said Shane McMahon wanted to calm his ass down in the ring and he had to actually hit him. Because he kept like botching him. He was like, calm your ass down. He said, I'm going to hit him with him. Calm the fuck down. Calm down. Shit, tag, fuck.
Chinlock time, nigga. Chinlock, nigga. Come here. Hey, sit your ass down. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, so Jericho, if you're listening, because I know you retweeted and they was on their best behavior today. So I want to say, truly, as a huge fan of yours, thank you for your 33 years and you're hitting your 49th pay-per-view. Everybody, he's hitting his 49th pay-per-view. 49. out of his 33 years. 49. That is crazy. Not regular matches. Who knows how many matches he done had throughout his career. I'm talking about pay-per-view. Headlining a pay-per-view. This is 49 at his age. It's incredible to see. You know, we're seeing all of our people that we witnessed through childhood retire. You know, Melo announced his retirement today. LeBron is on his 20th. Like, who knows how long we have Jericho before he calls it quits. And I'm telling y'all now, check on me when that happens, because I'm going to be crying my eyes out. But gotta know that motherfucking video package is going to go so fucking hard. Whenever they give him that Hall of Fame, just know Jericho's Hall of Fame package is going to be shitting on all of y'all favorites. It's going to be so fucking fire.
Oh, that tour, that retirement tour, you thought Juice and Thunder Liger's tour was fucking fire.
Man, Jericho's tour is going to be amazing. And if Lord say the same, I will be at the Hall of Fame ceremony. I will be at all of that shit because I have to see that. That is my favorite. Y'all know that's my favorite wrestler of all time. I was standing in line, you know, as a little one getting his, like, my favorite of all time. So he deserves his flowers regardless if he's in AEW or WWE, because y'all know if he was in WWE, y'all would have been giving him his flowers. So give him his flowers because he is monumental to the millennials, this generation of wrestling. He's important to modern day wrestling. He is probably one of the founding fathers of modern day wrestling, especially if it's influenced with WCW Cruiserweight. He was a part of that. So give your flowers to Jericho. You know, put your arms around our legends. Even, you know, not all of them, because some of them are assholes. We know Jericho might, you know, people have his thoughts about him, and I get it. All of our favorites have some problematic shit. All of them. Every single one of them, okay? Whether you love them or not, or whether you try to ignore it or not, all of our favorites have some type of problematic. I don't want to hear about it, okay? I don't want to hear about it. Just keep it under. If you got some dirt in the closet, keep that closet motherfucking glued. I don't want to hear about it. Please, I don't want to hear about it. I can't take no more. You know, because I know what he said in 2019, whatever. That hurt my heart. I was like, oh shit, stop talking. Please stop tweeting. Stop.
Just like, oh my God.
Like, God, stop. But he's cool. He calmed down. But as a wrestler, you cannot deny the impact that he has made in modern day wrestling. And that's why that man over there cannot stand. Listen, Chris Jericho is a Vince McMahon's man. Trips is his ops. He don't like that man. Okay? Because that's a jealous motherfucker over there. And he knows it. That's why he don't like him. He always had a jealousy over him. And we all know that because Jericho is creative. He came up with the Money in the Bank, which is a pay-per-view. He knew how to push up younger stars. He knows how to build up younger stars and make them look good in the ring. Look at the Jericho and Shelton Benjamin match. I know everybody talk about the Shelton Benjamin and Shawn Michaels, but look at Chris Jericho's Shelton Benjamin match.
Oh, IC title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at it.
Does Jericho listen to hip hop? Look at this.
Sometimes a couple friends of mine have kind of introduced me into some of the newer stuff, some of the hits. And I appreciate it. I like Jay-Z. I think Sean Kingston's got some good stuff. I like Lady Gaga, some of the hip-hop, more dance type stuff. But Plies, I like.
Really,
T.I., yeah. LFAMO. So there's a few that I like.
My boy said
You didn't say Plies.
Just imagine Jericho, pussy ass cracker, try to get in 100 years.
Somebody just told him that or something talking about Plies.
I love that.
Listen to Bushes.
Rap Plies.
You ain't hold but out the people where you stay, pussy.
He must have heard that Shorty song. What's that song with T-Pain? Who's his name? Plies?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
The thought of Orton possibly retiring. Yeah! All his ops. He has outlasted all of them.
Hey, man. We ain't to it till you die. Like,
win to it till you die, really.
Yeah, man. He watched them. Rest in peace.
I ain't trying to spark no beef, nigga. Win to it till you die, real shit. At your funeral, I'm outside. Rest in peace.
I bet Hunter's still twitching. He changed something different.
when Hunter had to put them boots down, he probably like, that's two.
You know, but yeah, go put that suit on. Shut up. Go fight the
Batista.
like,
that's two. What the other one? Goldberg, 3.
And what if Vince has told him, like, man, I wish you were my son-in-law instead of this other one?
I get it. It's cool. I mean, your daughter did like it.
That was a moment.
Damn.
And he went platinum in the streets and on the billboards.
And the crowd be singing Judas for 3 years straight. They still, I become. When I went, I was like, damn, they still sing this song. I've been tired by now. Fuck it, we ball. They was still singing that shit.
For real.
My sister had to get her phone out with the lyrics. I ain't never heard this. You are beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is my top 10 Jericho moments. Another fun episode. Double or Nothing is this Sunday. Make sure you tune in. They haven't announced what it's going to be on. That is interesting. That is interesting. Bleacher Report would have said something about now, but we haven't.
So Tony, you a real man. Come on, Tony, put it on TBS.
Oh, say the max. Go ahead and say it. Tell us. Go ahead and tell us. Is we saving $50 or not?
Yeah, put it on TBS for free, Tony. Come on.
What? Tell us. So, yeah, he's facing Adam Cole. He had a great match with Roderick Strong last week. So he's in Double or Nothing. He's against Adam Cole. That feud is good. It's leading all good. Adam Cole don't know how to mind his business, so he gonna get his ass beat on Sunday. He gonna get his ass beat on Sunday. So make sure y'all tune into Double or Nothing. Before I get out, I just want to say one thing. It has nothing to do with Jericho, but what I read, it broke my heart. But I want to say, Thunder Rosa, we do love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you for not letting people get to your head. And thank you because you're still here. I read that article and it pissed me off, and I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Tony, you really got to do something about that because we do not need shit like that, okay? That shit pissed me off. So, Thunder Rosa, if you are listening, I hope you do. We love you. I love you. You mean a lot to a lot of us, especially the Latino community. They need you. You represent. You have people that, that you represent, and we riding for you, and you gonna ball in AEW Collision, and we are rooting for you because that shit pissed me off. So that's a women business that I threw in there. But thank you guys for tuning in to my top 10 Jericho moments. You can share your moments in the comments, or you can tweet me, or you can inbox me. I will come back to do a top 20. No, not top 20. That's too long. I will do another top 10, but for Jericho matches. So be on the lookout for that. I wanted to take a little break with the critique and the Rampage of Dynamite and just celebrate Jericho because I was like, how many pay-per-views he has done? And then I saw in this at 49, and I was like, Jesus, we got to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. So I wanted to do this. So Jericho, if you're listening, thank you for your years. Thank you for holding it down. Keep it pushing and in the ring and continuing, inspiring younger wrestlers and, just being a leader, being a teacher, and just the years that you put in the business because you brought in humor, you brought in fashion, you brought in like the rock and roll style, you brought in, the reinvention lore. So you deserve your flowers. Remember who you are, and we hold on to you as long as we can because we call it quits. I don't know if I'm still
Been that and did that. Could be a corporate lawyer or a hood. She's a ghetto type broad in her life.
Scarf Man.
Do you know Project Pat? Chris?
Scarf God Jericho.
Scarf God Jericho. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we back next week. We're gonna do the Double or Nothing recap, and I'll have my girl Lyric on here. So Double or Nothing recap next week. We back on schedule, you guys. Get my getaway music.
You've mentioned a couple names recently. Who were they?
Listen, man. They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.